Hi everyone, welcome again to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. This is Happy Hips Volume 2. Hopefully this comes through okay. We're just going to try in a different location and see if we can get a better connection for this class. So let's get started on the mat. You don't need anything except for a mat, maybe a block, and that's about it. So come on to your mat and let's go to Child's Pose. So bring your knees wide and big toes are touching, and stretch your arms forward. Bring your forehead to the mat. Take a long deep breaths in and out through the nose. So deep breaths, so you want to imagine the breath running along the length of your spine. Settling the shoulders down. And allowing yourself to arrive in this space wherever you're at and arrive into your body and how it's feeling today. So just kind of scan through the body, notice how Child's Pose feels right now. Breathe into any tight areas. Take some long exhales out. On your inhale, let's lift up, walk over to the left, and bow to your left knee. Okay, on your next inhale, we're going to lift up light, so walk over to the right side, bow to the right knee. Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. Walk back to center, rise up to tabletop pose. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Round the spine, go to cat arch, and inhale, release the belly to cow. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, releasing. Shoulders pulling down and back. Exhale, shoulders forward. Exhale, down. Moving at your own pace and just getting your spine mobilized and warmed up for the class. Move around in a circle motion. Bend into your elbows. Let your head relax. So you're just picking one direction. Do a few, 3 or 4, and then switch the direction. Circle around your hips. Try to be as fluid as possible. And we're just trying to, again, just find those tight spots. You're hunting around or where you feel all kinked up, and you want to move into those spaces and stretch them out. Shoulders, sides of the body. All right, and then come back to center tabletop position. Take your right leg back behind you and then reach your left arm forward. Find bird dog pose. Reaching forward with your left arm. Hold that one more breath, inhale, and then exhale, release. Switch sides, take your left leg back and your right arm forward. And you're just reaching and trying to reach and engage your core muscles at the same time here. All right, and then bring it back down to tabletop pose. Now we're going to take the right leg, I'm just going to spin around so I can show you. You're going to take that right leg straight back behind you, but then bend the knee and then bring it in like you're pulling it in towards your elbow, and then straight back behind you. Bend it in like you're pulling it into towards your elbow, and then straight back behind you. Exhale, pull it in, stretch back, bring it in, stretch back. One more time, bring it in, and then stretch back right behind you. Do the other side here. So just straight back behind you, and then bring it in as high as you can. So you're kind of aiming for your left elbow and back. Okay, and keeping the core engaged. One more time, back, and then to the elbow, and then back and down. Okay, now with that right side again, we're going to take the right knee just straight up to the right and then back down. Straight out to the right and back down. Don't feel like you need to go super high here, because you might end up kind of leaning over and looking like that. It's not about trying to get really high. You're just trying to get this outer hip muscle here activated. So just doing some reps. Out to the side, down, out to the side, and down. Let's just do one more. Out to the side, and then down, and then the second side, doing that same thing. So left knee just out and down. So if you feel like your side or your low back is kind of feeling it more than your outer left hip right now, then you're lifting your knee too high. So just lift it low, low, and then drop it back down. Inhale up, down. Let's do one more. Inhale up, and exhale back down. So you should feel like your muscles are talking to you right there. Move around in a circle motion again. Get those hips circling around and around. Switch sides. Okay, and then practice center. Right leg straight back behind you, and then swing it out to the right, so you're in that gate pose position. Okay, start to walk forward right away. Stretching the sides of the body and push into the floor so that you can pull your hips back and just kind of find some traction there. You want to reach the outer edge of your right foot down to the floor. This whole right leg is activated. Navel pulling to the spine. And then rising up, walk hands underneath your shoulders, and then press up all the way. Reach up with both arms, inhale, and then exhale, drop your right arm down to your right leg. So looking maybe up at the left arm here. If that's too much on your neck to look to the left, you can always just look forward or look it over to the right side either way. Okay, and then release out, and then look towards that right leg, and then reach towards it, and bow your head towards the knee. Don't think about trying to really push and try to reach your foot. If you can't, if you're only up here, that's fine. Just think about dropping your head and just stretching there, and reach that outer edge of the right foot to the floor. So you should feel the stretch on the outer edge of the foot, ankle. That I'll stretch out right here, and then release, walk back to the mat. Reach up with both arms, and then take that left hand to the back of the left leg and spin around again. So you're just tipping back and just moving into a little bit of a back bend. So you can go this far, just taking mini back bend. If you feel like you're warm up enough, then reach back onto your heel and take it back a little bit further. Breathing deep here. And then coming forward and then releasing. So bring that right knee back in, and then bring the hands to the floor so you're back in tabletop pose, and round the spine, and then release the spine. Come back into neutral spine, and then lift the left leg back behind you here. So swing the left leg out to the left, toes pointing forward, and then first we'll reach forward and move into that variation of puppy pose. Bring your forehead to the floor, or you can just hover your head as well. So you're trying to pull the hips back. You want to feel the stretch in the inner thigh, but you're feeling it in the sides of the body as well, shoulders. All right, and then rising back up, walk your hands up and come up all the way. Reaching up with both arms, take your left arm over and side bending. So you're breathing into that right side of the body, and you can look up at the right, or you can look down to the left leg. And then releasing, so come back out, and then face your left leg, and then reach towards it, bowing your head. So if you can reach your foot, then just press down with your hands or your fingers, pushing down to the outer edge of the foot just to assist in a little bit of weight to stretch your outer ankle there. And then releasing, so come on back, walk out back to the mat, rise on up, reach up with both arms, and then take your right hand on the back of the right leg. So just underneath your seat, maybe touching the hamstrings here, and then taking a little bit of a back arch, whatever your comfort level is. Taking it back further if you feel comfortable in your back bends. Lifting up through the chest here, trying to square the shoulders to the ceiling. Not twisting in any way, just pressing the hips forward as best as you can. As we're coming out, we're lifting up forward, and then you can reach up with both arms, and then bring the hands onto the floor. Bring the knee back in, and then move around in a circle motion. All right, come back to center, tabletop pose. Walk your hands forward and tuck your toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. Walk out the legs. Pedal it out, bending into the right knee, bending into the left knee. Look forward at the hands and then step or hop up to them. Top of the mat and fold forward. Knees can be bent here. Go ahead and pick up the feet, the toes, and spread them wide and drop them back onto the mat. And then come back to your center and then rise up all the way. So reach up to the ceiling, inhale, and then exhale. Bring the hands to the heart. Release the arms, sweep up again. Inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. Clasp your fingers and press down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, release the hands back behind you. Clasp and pull back, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise up. Arms reach up. Exhale, exhale, press down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, rise up. Breathing. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look up. Bow forward. Hold this one. One more breath in. Deep breath out. And use your next inhale to rise up all the way. Reaching up with both arms and then take it all the way down in forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, hands to the floor. Step your right foot back, drop your right knee to the ground. Arms reach up. Just one breath, exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Lift into up dog or cobra. Come back into downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, left knee to the floor. Reach your arms up, inhale, exhale, hands to the floor. Step forward to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor. Left foot steps back. Knee down. Rise up. Exhale, hands down. Step back, plank. Chaturanga. Up dog, cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Right knee to the floor. Arms up. Exhale. Down. Step forward to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Hands to the heart, clasping your fingers, pressing down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, side bend to the right side. Come back to center, and then come down to a squat. Reach your arms forward, and then stand up. Side bend to the left side. Come back to center. Come into a squat. Reach your arms forward. Reaching up. Side bend to the right. Center. Squat. Press. Side bend. Reach. Squat and hold. 3, for 2, and for 1. And then stand up all the way. Take your hands back behind you. Clasp your fingers. Step your feet as wide as your mat. Pull the arms back. shoulders pulled back together, bow forward, right to the center here, and then draw your head over to your right knee, and then to the left knee. And then come back to center and rise up all the way. Reach up to the ceiling and then exhale, hands to the heart. Step your feet so that the toes are touching, your big toes, and sink down into Utkatasana. Okay, we're moving into a twist from here. So take the left elbow onto the right knee and looking to the right now. Pulling the right shoulder back. Releasing out, reaching up first, and then exhale, hands to the heart, sink down, pull the weight back into your heels, and over to the left side. Try to glance down at the shins and just try to make sure the knees are together and the shins are together. Bring the center of the chest to the thumbs, and then releasing out and standing. Reaching, bring the thumbs to the back of the head, and hold and breathe. Think about lifting the kneecaps up here, heart lifting, and then reaching forward first, halfway, and then all the way down. Reach up halfway, lift up halfway, hands to the floor, step your right foot back, drop your right knee to the floor. Reach up with both arms, twist to the left. Right arm forward, left arm back. And you're going to reach with your left hand to your right knee, back of the knee, hamstrings. So it'll feel like it's twisting back behind you. So you can look over the shoulder if you feel like you're going to come off balance. Or if you feel comfortable with this move, you've done before, look up to the ceiling and keep breathing. One more breath. Windmilling the hands down, so your right hand's going to plant down, your left arm's going to reach up, your right knee lifts up off the floor. Look up at the left shoulder, left arm, squeeze your right leg straight. One more breath here. Okay, bring your left hand to the floor. And then when you come back, your left leg is going to lift back in plank pose. Keep it floating. Kick your left leg underneath your right leg for side plank variation. So the scissor side kick, or drop your foot to the floor. Or you can bring the bottom shin to the floor if you're a beginner. Come back out to plank pose and lower through chaturanga. Lift into up dog or cobra, and then come back into downward facing dog. Right away, step your right foot forward, left knee to the floor, reach both arms up, twist to the right, left arm is forward, and right arm is back. So lifting the posture, lifting the head, breathing, and you're reaching with your right arm to your left leg, back the leg, and then tipping back however comfortable you feel, going back into back bend. Maybe looking up at the ceiling, maybe just looking over the right shoulder to maintain your balance. So make sure that you're breathing consistently. If you're holding your breath, just trying to nail the posture, then it's totally not worth it. You want to kind of keep that consistent breath happening. You want to feel good. Okay, we're going to windmill out of it. So we're going to plant the left hand to the floor, and that right arm's going to reach up. Then lift that left knee up and activate your left leg. So reach through your heel and just holding here. Squeezing, so you're just kind of squeezing that right glute as well, left glute. And then bring the hand to the floor, that left hand. Okay, come back into plank pose, that right leg is floating. Kick it underneath your left leg. So the scissor side plank, or foot to the floor, or shin to floor. 2 and 1, and releasing out. Back to plank pose, lower through chaturanga. So bring it into up dog or cobra, and then back to downward facing dog. Breathe it out here. We're going to spend about 4 breaths. Keep in mind you can always drop to child's pose and take a rest whenever you need that. Fingers spread nice and wide in downward facing dog. All right, so look forward at the hands, step or hop up to them. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way, reaching up. Hands to the heart. Toes are touching, big toes are touching. Come back into your Utkatasana, into your chair pose. Twisting to the right again, so that left elbow is going to come down. Pulling that right shoulder back. All right, and releasing out. Reach up. Thumbs to the back of the head. Thumbs to the heart. Sink down. Twist to the other side, over to the left side. Keep breathing, one more breath. And releasing out. Stand. Thumbs to the back of the head. Shot forward, come down. Inhale halfway. And then exhale, hands to the floor and step the left foot back. Left knee to the floor. Reach up with both arms. Breathe deep. Okay, open to the left side. Right arm forward, left arm back. So just check out your front knee, your right knee. Just try to make it go tracking straight forward or even out to the right. So it's going to be hard because your knee is just going to want to pull into the center. But you want to maintain that stretch happening. We're going to tip back to the left hand on the back of the left leg. Another little back bend here. If you want a deeper back bend, reaching back a little bit further onto your heel, that can happen as well. So you're going to feel that stretch more in the left hip. Okay, and then we're going to go forwards. We're going to release, and we're going to bring the hand on the inside part of the right foot. So right hand on the inside part of that right foot, left hand to left hip. Lift up that left leg, spin so that heel's onto the floor, and then we'll move into extended side angle. So in this one, we're kind of using that arm, your right arm, to open the knee and kind of keep the hips stable and open for this extended side angle. Reaching up with the left arm, just keep breathing here, one more breath. Okay, bring the left hand to the floor, then walk your right foot out to the right. So you're in a lizard lunge position, both hands on the inside part of your right foot here. Okay, and just keep breathing here. That left leg is activated. You're reaching through the heel, engaging quad muscle, engaging glute on the left side. All right, so from here we're going to move out to split plank pose. I'm going to spin around so you know what I'm talking about here. So you're here in the lizard lunge. We're going to lean over to the left side and then just kick out that leg. Drop it to the floor, and you can walk your left leg back a little bit more here. And then you can also walk your right foot up. So you're trying to just kind of make yourself into a split, and it kind of depends on your own flexibility on where you can set. So your core should be activated because you are in the plank still, but you're getting that stretch in the legs. The legs are pretty activated here. We're holding for another 3. For 2, you can always drop that left knee to the floor, by the way, if you're a beginner. Okay, to come out, we're either going to, so for advance, you're going to pick up that right foot and hold it. And then we're going to, everyone sweep that right leg, kick it up into the air. So you're in a 3-legged downward facing dog here. Then bend into your right knee, and then straighten your right knee. Bend into your right knee, looking to the right, even straighten. One more time, bend, and straighten, and then come forward to plank pose and flip to your wild thing or your rock star position. So I'm just going to spin around here. So you're either here or your hips pressing up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Okay, and we're going to flip all the way around. So we're in plank pose and lower through chaturanga. Take it into an up dog or cobra, and then take it to child's pose. We'll rest before we move to the other side. Knees wide. Deep breaths out through the mouth or out through the nose. All right, and use your next inhale, rising up back to tabletop pose and downward facing dog. Walk it out. All right, so left foot is going to step forward here, and the right knee comes to the floor, and the arms reach up. We're going to open to the right this time. And both arms wide open. Breathe deep. And again, just being mindful of that front knee. Try to track it forward. Or if you think about it, weight on the pinky side, the pinky toe side of the left foot there. So basically, if you can lift up your big toe, then you should be pretty good. Because that'll open up that knee. Okay, tip back. So right hand to the back of the leg somewhere. So hamstring, or reach back to the heel if you feel warm enough. And then you're getting a little bit more stretch on that right side. All right, so coming forward into extended side angle, going forward and planting that left hand on the inside part of that left leg. Lift that back knee, turn the heel down to the floor, and open your right arm. And just holding here, trying to lean to the left, opening the shoulder. This variation just with the arms open here, not going to binding just yet. We'll kind of explore that in a little bit. Navel pulling to spine, really just trying to open up the shoulder and hip right here. Okay, close it in so you're in a lizard lunge position. Walk your left foot out to the left and just holding here. So right leg is activated, reaching through the heel. Think about the back of the right knee is kind of lifting up as well. Of course, those long deep breaths here. So we're going to take it into this side or the split plank now. So we're leaning to the right side so that you can take your foot and just kick it up. Kick it up to the side. So, and again, you're just kind of making your way, wiggling your back foot back or your front foot forward so you're in a split plank. If you need to, you can drop that back knee to the floor and then kind of work on getting your left foot forward, more forward. But try to keep everything activated. So what is happening here is your right leg is, because it's activated, it's taking on some load right now. You're reaching out through the heel, your quadricep and glutes are engaged, and it's also stretching your hip. When you drop the knee to the floor, it takes away that activation, which is kind of the magical part of this stretch. But if you need, if it's too much, then of course you're backing out and regressing a little bit. So again, we're just holding a little bit longer here, trying to keep engaged. So if you're sinking through the shoulders, if your shoulders are giving out, then you are dropping the knee. Okay, we're going to maybe float that foot to release, swing it all the way back up into the air, that three-legged down dog, and then straighten the leg and bend the knee. Straighten the leg, bend the knee, straighten, bend, and then into your wild thing. So flipping around. So you're flipping that left leg over the right leg. Either your right leg stays straight and you're in the side plank, which is almost like wild thing, but you're gonna pop up the hips for wild thing. That's what makes it different from here, just a regular side plank. You're kind of arcing and you're in a heart opener, or or you're putting your feet together and your thighs are parallel and you're lifting up, you're in a one arm back bridge here, or back bow. Okay, and then coming out, so just slowly flip around, plank, lower through chaturanga. So take it into up dog, take it back into child resting pose, and rest, and give your arms a rest. You can take your arms back behind you in child's pose. All right, one more breath in, one more breath out. Okay, use your next inhale and rise up, and we will start doing some balancing poses here. Walking it out in downward facing dog, and look forward and step up to the hands and sway and breathe. All right, back to center, rise up all the way, reach up, inhale, and then exhale. So today we're going to be exploring the figure four, standing figure four balance pose and different variations of that. So feet hip distance apart. We're going to balance on the left foot first. So you're picking up your right foot, flex it, and then place it on top of your knee on that left side. Okay, so this is, you can just kind of hold here, sitting back however you feel like you need to. You can also use a wall for this because it's not, we do want to kind of get strong in our stabilizer muscles, but we want to really target the hip. So if you have your arms forward, reaching a wall, or hand out to the side, reaching a wall, that's fine too. It may allow you to get deeper into the pose. Otherwise, your hands are going to be at your heart and you're just focusing ahead of you, which usually helps for balance. A line on the floor is something that's not moving, and focusing on your breath and just trying to keep a consistent breath rate happening as you are stretching. Maybe taking some longer exhales, really focusing on that. All right, and then we're going to slowly lift out and then release. So walk it out or shake it out, and then we'll switch sides. Balancing on your right foot, so your left foot's going to come up on to the knee. So just keeping your foot flexed, and then again, just sitting back, just like you're sitting back into a chair. So imagine you're pulling your bum way back, so shoot your bum back, and lift your heart forward. So we're not to bow forward just yet. We're going to go into some variations here, but try to keep a flat back for this first one. We're not holding it super long. You just want to get kind of the hips used to this kind of rotation here. External rotation. Breathing deep. Keep sinking, heavy, and then standing and releasing. So again, just walk it out, shake it out. Okay, let's go for it again, and we'll do a little bit of a variation here. If you can't do the variation, by the way, you can just do the same pose. Do the same pose. It's going to be awesome. Of course, the longer you stay in any pose, it's going to be pretty beneficial. You're going to feel that in your hips. Your hips will thank you for it, especially if you sit. Figure four stretch is kind of one of the go-to stretches for if you have like piriformis syndrome, all sorts of hip issues. It's a really excellent stretch. This is more of the balancing side. So from here, anyways, we're going to go forward, and so rounding the spine. So maybe you're just kind of rounding and just barely touching the floor. Maybe you can touch the floor. If you can't touch the floor, don't worry about it. Try not to straighten the left leg just so that you can touch the floor. Try to keep it bending, because I know this is going to be way more intense as we get lower into the hips, and you also feel that stretch in the low back. Okay, we're going to release, so just slowly can rise out. And it takes a lot of muscular strength as well to hold that position since we're on that one leg. We're going to go the other side, so balancing on the left and flexing foot. Place it on the ankle, keep the foot flexed, and then going down. So again, you're either here, maybe you're just exploring, rounding your spine so you can kind of pull the chest forward, or let your hands hang and just see how that feels. Maybe you get a little bit deeper and your hands touch the floor and chin tucks in. And so what happens with your hands touch the floor is a little bit of a lock. What you can do is kind of pushing, you're pressing your right forearm into your shin, and your left forearm basically into your shin so that it locks it in place and allows your hips to sink down. So it adds that intensity. We're going to release and come out. Okay, we'll do some more variations. We're going to go through Vinyasa first. So step to the top of the mat. Sweep the arms up, inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold, and then step back or jump back to your plank pose. Lower through chaturanga. Breathe in your up dog, and then exhale to downward facing dog. Three more breaths here. All right, so we're going to do some variations, but we're going to take it into a flow. First, to get into the next figure four variation, we're going to lift the right leg up, bend into the knee, let's do three-legged down dog, step forward into runner's lunge, so both that back heel is lifted off the floor and both toes are pointed forward, and then coming up to a high lunge. So reaching up with both arms, make sure your front knee is just over your front ankle and just holding there. Hands to the heart, and then we're going to shift the weight into the right foot and then lift the left knee up, and then we're going to open up the left knee out to the side. I'm going to spin around here, going into dancing Shiva here. So basically it's figure four without the hook onto the leg. So you're holding that in space and holding that, and then maybe sinking down into the squat. So you are sinking back the hips, but trying to keep the left leg suspended while you're externally rotating the hip as well. Chest is forward, so quite a bit more difficult. We're going to stand in and then kick the left leg back, so you're in airplane, and then go into half moon. So the right hand's going to come to the floor, and then the left arm is going to reach up, and the left leg is going to reach out. Reaching out through the leg, reaching out through the arm, one more breath. And then take that right hand, left hand to the floor, step back into lunge, and then step back into plank. Lower through chaturanga, do up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Okay, so walking it out. The left leg is next, it's going to lift. So you can do that three-legged down dog here. Now you're stepping forward up to the hands, finding your runner's lunge, and then lifting up to your high lunge with both arms. So you're just trying to breathe into that stretch first. Bring the hands to the heart, mentally prepare, and shift the weight forward so that the weight's in your left foot. Bring that right knee up. Again, take your time, just finding your balance as you need to. Then you're rotating that knee out to the right knee out to the right, trying to keep the foot flexed, staying there, or sinking back. So just like your chair position, try to bring the weight into your left heel as best as you can here. Hands can be at heart, And reach out to the side. You can take mudra, thumb to index finger. Okay, go ahead, stand. Kick your right leg back. Open your arms. Airplane. Left hand to the floor or block, and you're in half moon. And then once you've got your support, your ground, then you want to spread out from there, reaching your arm, reaching your leg. And then bring it down to standing split, but you're just going to step back to lunge and then step back into plank, chaturanga, up dog cobra, and child's pose. Bring the knees down, knees wide, stretch back, breathe it out. Okay, one more breath here. All right, so come on up, and we're going to do the gate pose with a froggy leg like we've done, I did for a class just a couple weeks ago, but the video didn't turn out very good, but it's a pretty good hip opener if you want to go there. So you're going to take your left leg out to the left. So just like at the beginning of class, we're doing the gate pose position. And you can roll up a mat for this one, or have a towel if you need to, if you're feeling any pain or pressure in your knee. But your right knee, your left leg's out to the side, your right knee is just going to walk out to the right, and then your toes are going to point out to the right as well. So you're in a half frog, so the full frog will look like this, and like child's pose, where both feet are turned out to the side. This one is just the lateral split with the frog one side here. And then you can just use your body weight coming forward, or just propping yourself up. If you feel like this is good enough for you, and just staying here, then just stay here. But if you want a deeper stretch, then you're bowing forward, and then you're also just kind of working on maybe thinking about that inner left thigh is pulling down to the floor, or maybe pulling this right knee out to the right even more. So shifting that around. Looking at your frog leg, just make sure that the ankle is in line with your knee as well on that frog leg side. Okay, so holding this position, breathing deep. And like I said, if you feel like it's too much, or if it's just feels like you're really digging into the floor with that right knee, you are, but you can soften it with a towel. But if it feels like it's pain, or feels like your knee cannot rotate that way, or if you have any other knee injuries, then just come back to your the regular gate pose. So you're on your knee without that rotation of your foot out to the side. Okay, and then just start to shift the weight forward, and then press up, and then take your foot out of that rotation, and then pull the knee back in first, and then bring your left knee back into the right knee. Okay, so we're going to go to down dog before we do the other side, just to shake it out. Tuck the toes under, walk it out. And we'll go through Vinyasa. Exhale, down to chaturanga, up dog, and then back into downward facing dog. All right, so bring it all down again, knees to the floor, and we'll do the other side. So your right leg is going to stretch out, and it's going to be straight here. Toes are pointing forward. And so again, if you know that you have a knee injury on your left side, say, this is where you're going to be. You're not going to turn your foot out at all, and you can walk forward to feel the stretch here and get that that inner thigh stretch. Otherwise, you're turning your left foot out to the left and trying to bring the knee in line with the ankle as well. So it takes a little bit of a setup just to kind of get in and get the feel of it. One side might feel different than the other. And again, just propping yourself up, however, like if you want to go high, if you need more stretching, then you're dropping down low. You're kind of sitting back to intensify. You're kind of pushing back into your hips. But again, you want to think about that inner thigh that's stretching here. You want to think of that pulling down to the floor. So you're actually pushing down into your foot, and not at 100% of capacity, but there is some, like, I don't know, 30%. So you're kind of activating the pose as well. And breathing deep. Of course, that's key. Taking some long exhales, especially if this feels very intense for you. Okay, so we're just rise forward first, so shift the weight forward and then lift yourself up, and then we're undoing the foot first on that froggy leg and bring the knee in, and you're just doing it very gently so that your body doesn't go into complete shock. Bringing your knees back together so you're in the tabletop position, and then go to downward facing dog. Walk it out. Okay, so what I've done in another video here that also cut out a while ago here, another variation of the figure 4 stretch is just right here in downward facing dog, where you're crossing your right ankle on your left knee. Come on forward and bring your right toes to the floor, and I'm just going to spin around here. So your right toes will come to the floor and your right knee is just floating on the floor. So basically you're in figure 4, but you're in this kind of squat sit position. My back toes are tucked under. Spin back around. So left knee to the floor, but my right knee is hovering. And then just like child's pose, we're kind of using the floor for some traction, and you're pulling back, pulling the hips back to also pull the chest towards that front shin, just to get more of a stretch. But if you feel the stretch when you're up here, then that's where you're going to stay. So again, some long deep breaths in, and again, just with the knee, you're kind of thinking about pulling it out to the right, so opening that hip, pulling the hips back so that you're getting that stretch in your right glute as well. Okay, and then we're going to come forward and then unwind in downward dog. So you're just going to back up in downward facing dog to walk it out. Do Vinyasa if you want to. You don't have to. I just like to sprinkle them in everywhere. Doing up dogs, doing down dogs. And then we're going to the other side. So the left ankle is going to be on the right knee. And then we're going to come forward. The left toes touch the floor first, and then your right knee touches the floor second, and then you are shifting the weight back into your hips. Your left knee is opening to the left, and you are breathing into the stretch. Just trying to do whatever you did on the other side, pretty much. Trying to achieve that symmetry as best as you can. Pulling the hips back so that you can also stretch that low back out as well, reaching the arms forward, back's kind of rounded. Breathe into the back. Okay, and then rising, so coming forward, and then pick up the knee, and you're in down dog again. Walk it up. All right, so from here, we're just going to drop the knees down to the floor, spin the legs around so that we're in a seating position, and we're going to go in a V-sit. Okay, so reaching up with the arms here, inhale, and then exhale, reach forward. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, reach to the left. We're not just spending a long time here. We're just going to warm up, reach forward, reach up, and then to the right, reach up, forward, reach up, to the left. Reach up, bring the left foot to the right foot, and then reach forward and hold. And then slowly rise up, back out to the straddle, and then reaching forward to the center and hold. You can grab onto the inner legs if you want to, or you're just reaching forward as far as you feel like you need to here. And then reaching up, bringing your left or your right foot to your left foot, and then reaching forward. So legs are together and you're in the forward fold. All right, so reaching up, inhale, exhale, and then hands come back behind you, and then we're just leaning back. Okay, and then lean a little bit forward. Hands are still back behind you. Shift the weight so that your legs come in Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, and we're just rocking the knees side to side here. Okay, and then shifting the weight forward so that you feel a little bit more. Okay, and then finally grabbing on forward, going even more forward here and adding a little bit more intensity to the stretch. So without rounding your spine though, we're just going to hold in this position, feet locked together, soles of the feet locked together, and just using with your own muscles in your legs here, just think about pulling the knees down towards the floor and opening the hips that way. Leaning forward as much as you can without rounding the spine. So I always like to say, think about your collarbones pulling towards the front edge of your mat. Okay, but you have a back brace on, so you're just stiff in your low back and you're just being drawn that way, as opposed to dropping your head right down to your feet at this point. So in order to get to the top part of your mat though, you need to pull the knees down, right? You need to make some space. So that trick kind of tends to work for me anyway. So take another deep breath, lifting from your low back, and then exhale down, and then bring the feet onto the mat so your knees are pointing up and the hands come back behind you. So just take a little bit of a back arch and then come forward and round your spine. Hands come back behind you, and this time lift up, lift the hips up. So press down through your feet. So you're gonna do a little bit of rocking if that feels good. A bit of activation into the hamstrings and opening shoulders. Rocking, I mean forward and back. All right, one more breath here. Glutes are activated, and then you're exhaling and releasing down onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to go onto the back here. So grab onto the backs of your knees. We're going to roll like a ball. So chin tucked in towards the chest, and you're inhaling, rocking back, and then exhaling forward. Okay, like I've said in other videos, this can be your pose. You can just rock from low back to upper back. Do these mini rocks instead of rocking all the way up onto your sit bones. Try to round, just keep that C shape in your spine as best as you can though. All right, and then back onto your back, and then happy baby pose, grabbing onto your knees, grabbing onto your shins, or grabbing onto your big toes with your peace sign fingers, and rocking from side to side. So left, right, and breathing deep. We're going to hold on to the right knee and let the left leg go away. So either flat onto the floor, straight to the floor, or bend into your left knee. However your low back feels. So if your low back's lifting up, then you're bending into your knee. Go ahead and straighten your right leg. Hold behind the leg somewhere, onto your hamstrings, or one hand on the hamstring, one hooking onto your big toe with your peace sign fingers. Doesn't matter if you have a bend into your knee. You're trying to get a straight leg, and if you want to, you can bend into your left knee, and you may feel like you can get a deeper hamstring stretch that way. Just try different ways of doing this pose, and maybe you have a strap at home that you're used to using as well. So a strap or a scarf or a sock. And just holding this pose. So you want to think about relaxing the hips though as best as you can. Keep the head on the floor, breathing deep, and the leg is being drawn towards your chest and towards your face. So as you're pulling it in towards you in that direction. Okay, so we're going to move out to the right for an opening, and again, you can keep hooking onto your big toe if you've got it, or your strap, or you're bending into your right knee and you're just opening to the right. Keep your bring your left hand onto your hip bone so that you don't roll all the way over. So if your hip came way off the mat, if you pulled over, bring it back, and maybe this is how far you're going. So maybe it's not a ton of range of motion. That's fine. It's a difficult pose because you're locked down on that one side, and it's kind of forcing you to square your hips while you're trying to open your hip out to the right side. So it takes a lot of engagement on that left side. So think about engaging the quad, engaging the hip, engaging your abdominals on your left. And then bring it back to center. And then you can do the straight leg twist. So you're just switching hands, and you're holding that toe or that foot, and with your left hand, your right leg's going over to the left. So again, you can kind of do the straight leg. If that's too much, then you're into that bent knee, and both knees can bend, or the double bent knee side twist, so recline twist. Okay, so doing whatever twist makes you feel happy right now, and what feels good in your own body. If you're in the straight leg twist, the scissor twist, then you want to push out through the heel as best as you can. I think about dropping your right hip down as well. So you're still kind of getting a hamstring stretch out of your twist, but you're also getting into your low back. You're getting into your right shoulder as well. Right arm stretching out to the right. Like I've said in other videos, you can move your arm around and just hunt for where you feel like there's tension. Work around that tension, breathe into it, and try and work it out. Moving your head, rocking your head from side to side. Just kind of loosen up the neck. Okay, and then we're going to release out of that pose. We're going to come back to the mat. Bring both knees in. Give yourself a hug. Bring your head into your knees as well. Deep breaths in and out. Okay, and then we're going to the other side. So straighten out through your right leg. Bend into your right knee, left knee, and then pull it in first, and then straighten that left leg up. And then you're holding on wherever you can. And breathing into that stretch. Think about the left leg pulling in towards your chest and your face in that direction. And try to be as comfortable as you can while doing that. Eventually here we're coming into Shavasana, coming up into Shavasana. So then we're just practicing the breaths, practicing slowing the breath rate down here, so we can kind of get into the head space and moving into stillness. Got the flow. Okay, we're going to open to the left with the either straight leg or, like I've said, you can bend into the knee and just open up. Right hand onto the right hip. Anchor it down. Keep your hand on your hip. Try to keep mindful of that right hip pulling down. This is kind of the same pose I did last week when you're the standing hand to big toe position, right? And just exactly the same thing, but we are on the floor. So if you want to practice that, of course you're not going to get the balancing aspect of it, but if you're working on the flexibility part of it, then doing these floor stretches are going to be for you. So if you feel like your balance is pretty good, but you're inhibited by you're held back by your flexibility, then working on the floor stretches and holding these floor stretches are going to be pretty beneficial for you if you're working to a certain pose. So we're going to come out and back to center, and then you're either, for that split leg, you're going to switch the hands, take that left leg over to the right, right leg straight, left leg straight, and then your left arm is reaching out to the left. And like I've said, bend into your knees. If it's too much for you, then you need to modify and just think about the stretch and enjoy the stretch. Enjoy just kind of hanging out here and letting your body passively stretch. Breathing into it. So take your time here. Think about 3 more breaths, actually. Just moving your arm around if you haven't already. Open, close the hand. All right, so slowly coming out of that pose, back to center and giving yourself a hug. Alright, so we'll bring the head onto the floor, the feet onto the floor with your knees bent. Bring your arms open to a T position, and then drop the knees left to right for windshield wipers. The next time your knees drop to the left, just hold them there and then drop your head over to the left shoulder as well, your chin over to the left shoulder, and breathe. Think about how heavy your right arm can be right now. So shoulder, notice it pulled up right there. Imagine, or just trying to send signals to your own body to try and tell it to relax and let go, so that you can feel that stretch in the neck, the shoulder. Okay, letting that go, and then going over to the other side. So the knees will fall to the right side, and your head will also draw over to the right, drawing your chin to the right shoulder. Breathing deep. Inhales, long exhales. Left shoulder, meanwhile, very heavy. Heavy left arm. Alright, and then slowly start to release. Come out of that position. Rock the hips from side to side again. Yeah, and then whenever you are ready, you're moving into Shavasana. So straighten one leg at a time. Bring the arms in close. Use a blanket or bolster if you have one. If you know that you're going to be distracted by, say, the coldness of the floor or the temperature of the air, then suggest covering up so that you won't have to think about that, and you can focus on just being able to stay in the present moment and think about your breath. So taking a deep breath in when you're ready, take a deep breath in through the nose, fill the lungs, fill the belly, and deep breath out through your mouth. So a sigh out, bring some sound to it. Do a couple more like that. So filling up lungs. Think about the size of your body expanding. Your back lifts off the mat with your inhale, and a long, long exhale. And you're really just being aware of exhaling out all the air, noticing your back pulling down to the mat on those exhales. So really sinking down. And then eventually you're just bringing your attention to your breath and some consistent inhales and exhales, in through the nose, out through the nose. Bringing awareness just onto the nostrils, so where the air moves in and moves out. So just that part of your face. Now expanding your awareness to your cheeks, the temples, the muscles around the eyes, and see if you can soften all around. Let the eyelids feel heavy, let the lines across the forehead smooth out. Expand your awareness to your jaw, relaxing it. Relax the tongue and the mouth, let it be completely still. Bring your awareness down through the sides of your neck, the back of your neck, releasing your head completely on the mat. Awareness to the tops of the shoulders, sinking down, pulling both left arm, right arm down, and letting both left arm and right arm be relaxed and supported by the mat or by the floor. Your awareness to the upper back, down to the mid back, the low back, and the hips. Releasing the backs of thighs, backs of knees, calves, right down to your heels. Every exhale, feeling like you can sink down a little bit more. Let go of one more thing. Bring your awareness back up to your nostrils, breathing in and breathing out. Awareness to your throat, softening it. Collarbones relaxed. Chest, abdomen, belly, all softened, all relaxed. Gently moving with the flow of your breath, lifting and falling. So just taking your time here. Awareness back to your breath once again. Just the feeling of your body and how it's relaxed right now. relaxed with your eyes. So keeping the eyes closed or relaxed as you take in some relaxed breaths with your body. So notice how deep you can go with those inhales and exhales when the body is relaxed and is calmed down. And try to really set in that feeling. Notice it, appreciate it. As well as bring in lots of love and attention to your body, a lot of gratitude for what your body can do. And then begin moving around. So just slow motions, fingers, toes. So if you're still wanting to just keep meditating or stay in Shavasana, by all means, I'm just going to gently bring you awake and energized enough to move around anyways. So morning stretch, it's usually a good one to go to. You're reaching your arms out alongside your ears and just making yourself really long on the floor, while taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then eventually getting your legs involved here and bending your knees, going back to windshield wipers, and bringing more circulation through the whole body, into the spine, to the joints, your hips, your shoulders, head. Rocking, yawning also feels really excellent. Lots of things. All good. So we're going to rock over into the right side and make your way up. And again, just continue on doing some neck stretches, anything you want to do. It's totally your practice. Thanks for joining me. Namaste, everybody. Sorry about the delay, technical difficulties. It looks like we made it through the whole class, so that is awesome. Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great night. I'm Melissa Shippey, Live Elements Yoga. I'm going to be on YouTube with this video as well. Leave your comments, let me know what you think, and share this video if you like it. Okay, cheers everyone. Happy Monday.